big challenge is not to speak about it too much and to try and work hard on the field at it. I think it's clear to us that there's a big expectation around winning the first game. But the more we spoke about it, we don't want to win one. We want to win consistently. We want to be sustainable, significant in our approach. We want to contribute. We never want to look back to the situation. So. And we don't want to have a one-off game and we played well and everything worked out. We want to have a process in place. We want to win. This is a new start for Italian rugby. We want to be in the next 10, 20, 12, 20 to 20 years. We want to be progressing. We want to bring through more players, more quality international athletes. It's not a one-year process. It's not a one-game process. We want to really set the standard there and encourage the young guys, and it's therefore the objectives is physical above all, to make that physical step up so that we're mentally competitive. And I think we've seen it now in the Nations Cup. Unfortunately, when we want that win too much, we make errors towards the end of the game. As soon as the scoreboard is aligned and we're in the game, we start looking too much at what we want instead of what we must do to win that. So the process will be, what can we do to be sustainable in our actions and win above all. I'm a very competitive person. Everybody out there goes and trains and plays to win. There's no doubt about that. We want this monkey off our back. We're really working hard to get it off our back. So, but we're not going to talk about it. The more the pressure mounts, the more we think of what the outcome going to have to be instead of what we want it to be. So we are focusing on a mental aspect, and to get that right, we must physically make a step up and be at the international level as quickly as possible. Like I explained before, we started January last year, a whole new approach. I had less than a month to install a new approach, a new plan, different ideas. And I had to use some of the continuity. Then COVID came, we started again, basically from zero. New players, we've got more players that's played test match rugby now than they've played franchise rugby, so it was a bit of a, getting them adjusted to the environment. We have got specific physical objectives we want to maintain. We've got to get up the standard in world rugby set by the rest of the world. We want to make that step up, so there was a different approach, but we started from scratch. And then now, fortunately, going into camp, everybody's a little bit more clued up what we're about, or what is reasonably in place. It's now how we got to work on, and therefore I'm really excited that we're definitely going to make progression. We're definitely going to make step up. We now get that consistency though, and I think the competition we're creating between players to get that jersey over the back is slowly growing. We want to any team has to have 45 to 50 players of international quality to be competitive consistently. Therefore, our second group coming onto the field in the second part of the game, our finishers, they still need to get aligned. And so, yeah, a lot of good positive challenges a lot ahead, but we definitely going to put out the best brand we can. We want to make that sustainable and consistent. So yeah, it's going to be important for us to focus actually on the process and not on the outcome for now. So I had a long chat with and a good interaction with the franchise coaches, because they have the players. It's difficult to change habits and attitude and install things in 6 weeks in a year, or in eight games in a year. And if there's not a break in between, then it is a huge challenge, especially if you're a developing team. But they've bought into it. We've spent the last 6 weeks in close collaboration with them. Obviously, we need to work together to create this new brand of Italian rugby that we hopefully will see in the franchises as well, and with good results. So I'm really excited about the process. Maybe with all teams at some stage, or all countries at some stage, they reach that stage. We in Italy has now made the decision. We've got the support of the federation. The guys are all backing up and are climbing in to support us. And we're going to, hopefully with a brand new mindset, in the sense that the players that's playing doesn't have burdens from previous years on their shoulders. We're just going to try and give them opportunity to express themselves inside a good winning structure that we're trying to put in place. The young guys, they've got less habits to get rid of, like a lot of positive energy that they're bringing. I know that being a young player must not be an excuse. We must just fast track their way. They gain experience, learn from mistakes, and then encourage them to make mistakes, encourage them to play, and not feel the pressure is going to be the main challenge. Yeah, look, I think we played well against Wales, and we played well against, in a certain period, against France. But agreed, I mean, I think against Scotland, I felt we had control of it. I think the pressures of winning just got at us towards the end. We were making errors that we shouldn't have. I think Scotland was brave. They went to the corner instead of taking points. They scored 2 tries from the set piece, which took it away from us. And I agree. There are areas in our game that needs to step up, obviously, and yeah. So that was a important one for us. Our focus, obviously, is to use that experience now in our favour. What has happened? So we must become a last 20-minute team on the positive side of things. So it is a big work on, but in our process and all the processes that I've followed, and with other teams as well, slowly but surely you get to the last part. And if we can play the last 20 minutes first in our game, it will be great. So we would rather focus on, we have the ability to keep the consistency in the game, play till the end, till we reach the change room, and that will come. I think as soon as our bench and our impact players, our finishers come a little bit more aligned as we go forward. If you look at the game time, the minutes literally that the players have, it's a very short period to get all the components together. So this is definitely a better, that's why I'm excited about the start of this Six Nations now, because we're definitely much further ahead than we were in both the other starts that we had. Look, the Six Nations as a whole is a big challenge. Our challenges are not just who we're playing. I think our biggest challenge is ourselves. We've got to be better at what we do every game and every week. So yes, France is the opposition, and England, and then the rest will follow. But for now, we concentrated on how we can better our own game. And from the start, I mean, we had 2 bad starts against Ireland and Wales in the last year, and we will want to be in the game from the start. So our focus is to be better than we were against Wales, like we were better when we played France and Scotland. So although we have the 2 main challengers, I would reckon, for the competition, the guys that basically played the final of the Six Nations last year as the 2 opponents in the beginning of the competition, it's also a good time for us to anticipate the standard and also to express our will and want to win in this competition. So we're seeing this as an opportunity. Every game, our main focus though is to improve our game regardless of who we play on Saturday. Always strange enough, when teams lose in the last 20 minutes, it's all about fitness. It's absolutely misinterpreted, I would reckon. We do a lot of hard work. Our main focus since I came to Italy was just on intensity, on getting repetitive actions, more intense actions. We ran again in the beginning of the year against Scotland. We collectively ran around about 98 kilometers during the game, and we've upped that now to 132 average during the Nations Cup. So we've improved a lot already fitness-wise. I think there's a mentality aspect that's worrying, and it's that brings that second part of the game always in difficulty, in the sense that the pressure of not making an error or not falling off a tackle or not making a mistake towards the end of the game is always a problem. If the players start looking at the scoreboard and they see that we've got a chance, all the expectation and all the want to win a game and all the comments about not winning for a long period becomes more important than the process that needs to be followed to finish the game. So I can sincerely say we work on these things day by day. It's not the physical process. It's more a case of not let outside factors influence the controllables, and that is the challenge. That's how we have to get us on the other side of the line is to be able to maintain our focus on the process in the last part of the game, and also the guys coming in from the bench to know exactly what is expected of them. Obviously, it's well explained, but always sitting out there and then entering the game at the vital stage is always difficult. But we need to. That is where the emphasis would be, not necessarily at fitness levels. No.
Yeah, obviously it's important to share the responsibility, but in the group, not obviously in the game. As a hooker, sometimes I cannot see or cannot be involved in the wider rack from a set piece or stuff like that. But I think during the camp and during the time that we spend in the franchises, the leadership builds in the team, in Treviso and in Zebra. Obviously, we had a big loss at the moment without Leo and without Bram because he's injured. But this is a challenge for me and for the other players to emerge as a leadership group. So I will give them some responsibility. I will want to share my knowledge and to share the responsibility in the group with some other players, and then we build together and we increase together.
Yeah, look, the main thing is to have more than one leader on the field. Our leadership group has got to make the step up. We've got about 8 players in the game in various roles. Young guys, Paulo Garbisi is somebody that plays a role, but as is Tommy Allen that comes from the bench, or Carlo Canna. We've got various guys in the pack of forwards that needs to. But at this stage, you must remember that we've been together literally for 6 games. I'm not going to count the first 3 games of last year because there was a whole reset period since February, and we literally started afresh in the Six Nations, then before Ireland, and then the Nations Cup. So the minutes on the field that we literally played in this condition and in these circumstances are still very little to have enough experience. So even the leaders, they feel the pressure. They usually the guys that's already been in this environment for a long period. They know what it means to win a game at this level.
It's important for us to go step by step every week and every game and learn from our errors. Now I'm 1 year as a captain, so I'm obviously in the better position than last year. And again, I will share my knowledge with the other players, and we build a leader group that we can push this group for the next Six Nations.